What day is it? What day is it? Mike, 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 Mike. What day is it? What day is it? Hump Day! It's Hump Day! Good morning. I learned this week marks the 1-year anniversary of when things began to shut down all over our country and all over the world because of the pandemic. There's been a whole lot of people writing things about, well, what would you have done if you'd known what was going to happen in the next year? What would you have done different? I've seen things of people going on trips. I've seen them getting together with loved ones. I've seen them having parties and barbecues in their backyards. It's really crazy when you think it's been a whole year. There are times when it doesn't seem like that's possible, and then there are other times when it feels like it's been 10 years. We do things so differently now compared to what we were a year ago. We carry these along with us, our little masks. We stay apart from one another. We don't shake hands. We worry about other people a lot and their health and safety. And I'm sure there are some of you who might see this who have lost a loved one or know of a loved one who has passed away because of the pandemic. In our little corner of the world, we have seen many, many people get sick. Not near the deaths that some other places have, but it has happened. We have seen how nursing homes and care facilities have basically shut down, and the people staying there haven't been able to receive visitors hardly at all. It's so sad to think about the human element that has been taken away. But in order to keep from the pandemic spreading, we had to do those things. I think about the times we've missed in being with one another. But yet, even though the pandemic it's not a good thing, it never can be a good thing, we've learned a lot, especially in the church, I think. We've realized again over and over how the buildings are beautiful and they're wonderful and we love them, but we can still have church without them. We've learned how to do these video kinds of things. We've learned to sit in our pajamas with a cup of coffee and go to church. And it doesn't feel the same, and we don't like it, but we still can worship. Because we have to remember that when we worship, it's not about us, it's about God. Last week was our lesson on the 10 Commandments from the book of Exodus, and we are to have no other gods before God. We are to do nothing else but gather to worship the Lord. And sometimes we want to be a little self-centered and we want it to be all about us. But God has already taken care of us. And our response to God taking care of us through the grace, through the love that He's given to us through the Son Jesus, through His life, death, and resurrection, our response to all of that is to worship God. So we worship the Lord a lot differently than we did a year ago, but we still worship. And I think no matter how that looks and no matter where we are and what we're eating or drinking or the clothes we're wearing, I think God knows what's in our hearts. God knows if we have true hearts. God knows if we have hearts that care and love for one another, because that's what God wants. God wants us to be in communion with one another, but in a safe and a way which keeps us from causing hurt for one another. So friends, as we come up on a year, and as many of you have begun to receive vaccinations, and some of us are still waiting for our first, we know that the end might be near, but it will never be the same for us. Our lives are changed forever. And some of that is sad, but some of it's a good thing. Some of us reminds us that we are truly God's children, and that God promises to be with us through it all. Have a wonderful week, my friends. See you in church.